All right, greetings everyone. Happy Wellness Wednesday. It is I, Dr. Chef, here to give you all's free health coaching on this Wednesday, what we call Wellness Wednesday with I, Dr. Chef. So glad to be back with you all today. I did have a little bit, just a little bit of glitch, but I'm back. And so all praises be to God for that. I pray that you all are doing well today. I hope that you all are doing well today. I guess we're about to find out now, aren't we? So I'm going to give some of y'all time enough to tune in today because I know it's 2 minutes behind the 5:15. I'm seeing where it just posted in. I'm going to give time enough for Facebook to come in. So I'm just happy to be here again with you all on this Wellness Wednesday. And so thank you so much for those of you all that's going to tune in, and remember to please like, share, and subscribe. For anyone that you think that this will help, I'm just merely trying to do my part as path, a naturopathic practitioner and as a wellness coach. And this is also part of my ministry and missionary work for those of you all that know me and have tuned in enough to know what I do. I teach health and wellness from a spiritual and natural standpoint, and prayerfully with the encouragement that you all would be enlightened and willing to start practicing eating more healthier to help yourself live a more healthier and abundant life, just as God had promised us, or initially wanted for all of us that believe that this is possible. And it is possible because we see it being done. It has been done. And of course, we're striving. I know most of us were striving for perfection in that way. For those of us who see, that are awakened, that are aware of the perilous times that we live in. So I'm going to, if you will, give me a little bit of time. Thanks so much for whoever just tuned in, for liking and sharing. I'm going to give Facebook a little time to come in. Yeah, give them a little time to come in. See if they would be able to get their link in. Yeah. For some reason, it does not share automatically or right away. So I have to see if I can go live you all with Facebook. Maybe they will give us a little time. Maybe. We'll see. We shall see. Just like we shall overcome someday, huh? All right. So, anyone else? I'm gonna give you all a little bit more time to chime in. I'm making sure that Facebook is in, and yes, I did see where it actually lasts. So I guess I didn't say too much to ruffle enough feathers, but Facebook actually allowed me to stay on the last week. But I'm not going to get my hopes up high about anything because I know that if the saying is true, and which I believe that it is, that if they didn't like our Savior, our Christ, and meaning the world loves its own. I am in this world, but not of it. Yes, we partake in certain things because we are able to. That should be good for us. But it does not mean that you would be like when you are teaching or trying to encourage those to live a more positive, a more healthy, a more spiritual, good life. I'm a firm believer that we were sent here, we were designed, as chosen people were designed to, or that God's perfect will for us was for us to live life and be healthy, be prosperous and in good health. And I know sometimes when we hear the term prosperous, for me, the word prosperous could be in spirit, in good health. It could be in the numerous things because not everyone, I realize, is seeking out riches and gold. They understand. Hey there, cousin, how you doing? It's so good to see you. Always a beautiful thing. Please send my love to our family there in Alabama. I was just looking at someone post something on there the other time, cousin Pat. And there's something you chime in. Um, this cousin Pat that's chiming in for Facebook. I'm gonna say a little bit about you to give more time enough to come in, cousin Pat. Yeah, but you didn't know it. But on my mom's side of the family, which tomorrow will be her anniversary and passed since 21. Um, but my cousin, which was my grandmother's first cousin, her name was Pat too, and she was a wealth of wisdom like you. So it's just, I guess, it's something in that name, Pat, huh? So the Most High knew that when we finally got a chance to get connected on here, and everyone that tunes in now and later, they know I always talk about how huge my family is. I'm just thinking about how you came along right around that time. And so cousin Pat has been gone since for 3 years. And then you just filled in the gap so beautifully, just like she did. And I was like, look at God. Look at God. Now I know you all are your own two beautiful, beautifully made and beautiful, loving, supportive moms, aunties, cousins, and grandmas. But I just thought that to be such an amazing thing, because even though I'm just finally getting a chance to see you more, especially since we live a little distance away, and I do look forward to visiting my family, you all. And I understand that this is part of wellness too. This is part of wellness, you all. When you have family, have loved ones, even those who you haven't gotten a chance to see, especially since COVID. I was supposed to reunite with some of my loved ones in Alabama after years of not being able, and a lot of us finding each other, because there's so many relatives on my dad's side. My grandfather that we know of had counted of 24 children that we can count. From my grandmother was 10, and so you all can do the math there alone. But anyway, my cousin Pat here that tuned in was the one that helped me with the mental health part of trying to figure out everything. When I talked to her, she did exactly like our cousin Pat on my mom's side of the family did, where she would fill in the history of the family as much as she could, because there was still some things left out. And if you are from here in America, you know, and you're considered a Black American, you know how important that is. And so shortly after that, you as you can imagine, after me finally connecting again with my cousin Pat here, and she's my elder, and she's such a beautiful mother and grandmother, I'm sitting here thinking to myself, Lord, please, when that brawl took place, please keep my family there in Alabama. But then I thought about the strength. I know that they were praying people. They were praying in good spiritual minded people. So I already know cousin Pat. It's okay. I'm about to. I know you wasn't in the brawl. Now I can't count for that older. I can't count for that older son of yours, because I know he lifted weights just like Daddy used to do, and real strong and robust. So I don't know what he did. Yeah, I'm talking about that firstborn son. Which, by the way, I just wanted to make sure I started off on something light, you all, and to give some of y'all time enough, since I came in a few minutes late. I had a few glitches, but yet I am here. So I'm going to send the greetings here at YouTube. And if there's any questions, health questions, or anything natural that you all want to try, that's what this segment is about. I know I chatted up a lot, and do my best to share as many testimonies and experiences, just so you all can get the gist of why I do what I do. However, don't allow yourself to get too consumed with everything that I'm saying, to the point to where if you know that you have some questions that you need to ask about health and wellness, about how to lose weight, how to read yourself, or what you should do when it comes down to dealing with all different forms of diseases, what I can share that would not be considered a conflict to all, because as you know, on these public platforms, I got to make sure that I am cautious. I know there are a lot of us that's out here, and some of them mean very, very well. And we're given a lot of health information about what to do naturally, not really considering the mental state and the mindset of some people when they get excited and hear that they don't necessarily have to be on drugs in order to try in order to put themselves into this mindset that they can be healed from pharmaceutical drugs for their so-called diseases. So I'm very mindful. For those who are to tune in, you should know that about me now, that I'm very mindful about what I say. And if it is something that I believe that's universal, that's simple, I will share it on this Wellness Wednesday for free. However, if it's something that's detailed that I know that's going to that means that it could be multiple issues why you are suffering with any type of dysfunction or ailment in the body, then that's when you will hear me state that I would it would be best for you to call in for health coaching at my 618 number, 388-8100 number. It is best to via text me, state what it is that you would like, and then at that time I schedule a an appointment. You could choose up to 2 days out of the week that would be best for you. And we schedule that, set up that first initial appointment with you. And the consultations run from anywhere from 30 minutes to 45 to an hour, depending on your condition. And yes, you can call in for spouses, family members, and friends if you want to connect them. Hey there, brother. Good to see you, Brother Ty. Good to see you, Brother Fred. So it's something that I have provided and have done even for free and for do healing ministry for almost 20 years now. I didn't start on the platforms until about a couple of years ago. So that's the reason why some of you all think that I see that I'm not as savvy as I would like to be with these computers. It's because I never ran the technology part of it. And as you can imagine, we always have the sick among us. And so the sick comes first for me versus technology. This is just a means to draw people and let them know that I am here, willing and ready, and really humble to be a good service, prayerfully to anyone that calls in to your 618-388-8100 number. Also, I do, if you cannot afford to do consultations with your member on this month, I have decided in honor of the passing of my father, Alfred Lee, and my mother, First Lady Willie Ann Hill Stokes, I have decided to go ahead and do a half off of free health coaching as well. So where it would range usually about $50 just for half an hour for any concerns that you may have. That even includes mental health and distress and stress disorder. Also, I am a certified drug counselor as well here in the city of Missouri, along with being a naturopathic practitioner. I do provide all of those services all in one. You just have to let me know when you're calling in or texting what it is concerning. And then from there, we can decide what time frame you may need to address your issue. I will also let you know whether or not you all, if I recommend coaching, depending on how long your condition has taken place. And then we can work out payment arrangements at that time. I also accept donations. When I see that you are willing to send in donations, some send in donations ranging from $5, $10, $20, $30, whatever it is that your heart's desire. If anything that I'm sharing is a help for you and your friends and your family, and you are able, then I take that into consideration too. And so when you cash app, if you're able to cash app, or if you send something into the PO box that I put in from my chat, especially for those who go in to my YouTube page, Dr. Chef Wellness Channel. When you go into there, note that that is free too. And so all you have to do is subscribe, like, and share. And then from that point, that helps me to be able to come before you all as well too. But nevertheless, you can also notify me through these means, through the chat. If you look at the chat there on YouTube, and let me know that you're interested in consultation, and we can go from there. But the most easiest way, obviously, would be to reach out to me through the phone services. And I also have my email. The website, we're still working on the website because there's particular items that I want to make sure that I have in when I put place up my website. I do realize that would be a lot more convenient for you all, but I also realize that I want to make sure that I have it right because there's so much that's out here now, and I am not one that is ever big on actually competing about anything. I'm one that just wants to do things in God's timing and right timing for me, and I don't want to feel that pressure of feeling like I just got to put something out there. And then there you go. We got a load of things there on the website that's not available. I don't believe in that just to, draw you to the website. Yes, that is a strategy that a lot of people use where they'll just keep saying out of stock, out of stock, out of stock, out of stock. I do not want to do that. As of right now, I do not want to do that. So I would rather just make sure that I see what you all are in most need of, such as with this Ben Wellness Wednesday starting off, such as the sea moss. I know that is something that you all have been more aware of for the last couple of years. Actually, some have been since Dr. Sebi first mentioned the power of the 102 minerals that's in the sea moss, especially in the purple refined sea moss that I have, that helps with reducing inflammation, that helps with male libido health and the women health, that helps with female hormonal. So for those of y'all who believe in hot flashes or believe that you're going through menopause, that's excellent for you women. And then antidepressants, it helps with stress disorder, and they do label it as the mucus destroyer, and it's good for clearing, purifying the skin. I've taken it from time to time, never had to really have to take it on a long-term basis because I don't recommend past 2 weeks or 21 days to give your body time enough to recognize and to see what it's doing. I'm not so much interested in selling something to you all, more so than I am seeing some results. And so far, so good for the year now that I've been promoting this and selling it. This is my brand, Dr. Chef Botanical Sea Moss, the purple kind. It's been tested for radiation in the most finest grade that you can come across. I right now still have the flakes in stock, and the flakes is excellent because just imagine, yes, you can grind it if you have a vitamin grinder or a really good Ninja blender. But I love it because you can cook with them. And then I'm so into my natural things. Maybe some of you all are, maybe you're not, to where because there's a flavor to it, I love sprinkling it on my salad, just a teaspoon. And I love putting it in my soups. I'll put it in my smoothie. I'll get it in whatever my body asks for it. And so that's what I do with my sea moss to get my 102 minerals in. And I highly recommend it for those who all that would like to try a simple way of helping you to also helps with promoting healthy thyroids. And unfortunately, too many of us don't get our thyroid level checked, so we don't even know that that is an issue. And so this could be used as preventive measures, especially when you're using it in the teaspoon, not tablespoon, or not you getting a whole jar of gel. Yes, you all, I know that's working for some. But if you know that you're not suffering with a lot of different ailments or severely deficient in vitamins, or that you're not eating, and you know that you are eating your good dose of fruits and vegetations every day, then I don't recommend that you guys take in a whole jar of gel sea moss just because it tastes good and you say it's the minerals. However, and well, let me say this. And the reason why I say that is because we have not gotten back enough information on those who have, or enough reports on those who have taken it for long term to see if whether or not it throws off or could cause hyper thyroid levels. Because even with that, that is natural, as you all know. And this is something that's not popular for a lot of naturopaths, doctors or practitioners, wellness coaches or herbalists admit, because I too fully understand why. Because we are very passionate, and we really do care, and we see the drug epidemic that we have here, that's been introduced to us, especially from the 1970s, from in the 70s, and how gradually our people started to get hooked more on drugs. And unfortunately, because of those who claim to be medical doctors that have promoted more of drugging of their clients, even when they knew that the disease could be reversed by doing simple things such as eating more healthier food and taking more potent, good, healthy vitamins when needed, and simply exercising. It used to be a time when the doctors, if I may say, and I'm giving more time you all to come in, so I'm explaining what I do, why I do it, and the importance of, and the reason why I recommend certain amounts of the sea moss that I have for $40, by the way. And yes, you can't cash out, or you can call in and we can set it up to where you can purchase this by phone with your card. And I also do deliver it out, and there is a $10 fee or charge for your shipping and handling if you are out of state. Okay. So I'm saying that to say the reason I get why a lot of our naturopathic people don't always put a limit on the herbals, you all. Some of them are not meaning any harm. I do realize that. Some, if you guys check some of my other um, videos that I put up, I've also come down. I have been very vocal. I admit that, with wanting our naturopathic people and herbalists to make sure that we don't oversell people with things that are good and healthy for them for the sake of just being a salesman, and not really truly tell them the amount. I have been addressed with that time and time and time again. And personally, that is a strong, when I say strong, I mean strong conviction of mine. When I hear that our people have, because of desperateness and because they're so anxious and really want to get rid of their illness, they find out like something about sea moss and say, oh, 102 milligrams, oh, it help with high blood pressure, oh, it help with diabetes, oh, it help with thyroid, oh, it help with my vision, oh, it help fight off infection. I get it. But it doesn't mean that we don't have the responsibility to tell you all to take these things in moderation. That is my responsibility that I'm taking up on myself to say, even if you buy or purchase online from someone else, that's where my heart lies, is to explain to you all the importance of not overdoing even the healthy things. Okay, the body only needs so much, and the only way you can find that out is when you start off taking a bit at a time. And it takes time. Sometimes it takes time depending on how, where your health, where you are with your health goals, and where you are as far as whether or not you are more healthier versus more sicker in the body, or carry or have been diagnosed with certain diseases. Understand that, I also understand that most of our diseases is caused by constipation, inflammation, and also, I'm going to add in there distress disorders for whatever. Even in that case, if it's where you've lost loved ones and you are still in mourning and don't realize that you are, if it's because of the job, if it's because of your children, if you have children, or because you are seeking higher education and that is stressful, whatever the case may be, or you got goals that you wanted to set for yourself and just doesn't seem to be happening at the time frame that you want it to happen, or you're getting a lot of stumbling blocks. I understand that can bring about stress and anxiety, especially when we are not relying on God for our strength and for our help. Okay, and so I counsel for those, but at the same time, I recommend certain herbs that can help you in the time of need when you do them in moderation. Okay, and so, just like it took us time, think about it. If you are sick or you have been diagnosed with a disease such as high blood pressure, diabetes, tumors, fibroids, glaucoma, all the muscular sclerosis, all of these other diseases, arthritis, you've been diagnosed with all of these different conditions, then understand that in most cases, if you really think about it and you look at the stats, then you find out that most of us did not start off or wasn't born with these particular diseases, that they have over hundreds of different drugs. Let me call it what it is, prescription drugs for, and that will double up these chemicals and drugs. It has all these different side effects that you don't even know when they're about to come. You don't even know when to look out for it. You don't even know that, 30 days down the line, all of a sudden now you're breaking out with rash because now your body, you didn't realize that because you're drinking certain things that's healthy and healing for the body, now the body is trying to detox itself from those chemicals. You don't even realize that it came from a mouth of dress. You don't realize that it came from your Prozac. You don't understand that it came from Zantac. It does. You wouldn't know because it's so far gone. We just see it as a simple pill popping thing to do, and because we've been doing it for so long now, it has become the norm. More just as normal as actually eating, actually fixing food, actually going out. For those of you all that are blessed to have your own garden, going out just picking an apple or a berry from the tree, or going out to pick your greens. It has become that normal. And so I am here to share with you all on this Wednesday, on Wellness Wednesday, a thought that I believe that we should have is in actually thinking about how we can do simple things that can help us to remember the the process, how important the process is, because it is a lot out here. When I got started, the only person that we seen online was Dr. Sebi. And he was in flashes because he was not from here. He's from Honduras that we know of. And so it was not a popular thing to see, especially anyone that was considered quote unquote black. We didn't see that. And if we had someone in our neighborhood, and I know some of y'all in the South and other parts of the country, there was such a taboo subject about calling us witch doctors and all this, like it had never been normal or considered a common thing for our people to eat from the earth or to grow herbs. I mean, us calling that witchcraft is like, think about it. And I'm not saying that there are not those who practice those things that are not heavily involved in trying to preserve their life. I'm speaking of the fact that we have to make sure we don't lose sight and thought that this was the natural way, the natural order that God gave us to eat, to live by. And so we have to learn how. I think that we just get frustrated sometimes, from what I can hear, that we get frustrated sometimes when we don't like to have to use the spirit, or what we call the spirit of discernment. When we don't like to have to wonder. Don't wonder. Ask the question. Think about it. You hear the saying, Satan is bold. He is bold. He is bold. They come out and let you know, because they know who they want to cater to and who they don't. But you have to consent to it. So I feel led to say that to you all, because I see a lot on here and I hear a lot. And a lot of times I won't respond when I'm there in person with certain things. I just will not deal with it. And I use the platform that I have to try and inform and educate our own people, those who tune in, to what's good, what's healthy, and what's practical for our people today. That would be a good start and a good way of thinking and living, as far as how to eat to live and how to better take care of ourselves from our mind, body, and our whole soul. So I am open. Hey there, Lawrence. Sister Lawrence, thank you so much too for the donation. Thank you so much, sweetheart. I appreciate it. Came in very, very, very helpful for those of y'all that also send in donations. When you do, just know that it could just be something as simple as, I need to send off packages for others, and I already have a set budget. Oh gosh, I thought I cut that off. Resume. Sorry about that, Facebook. MIM. My apologies. I had not been getting as many calls today on that end. But if he does, hopefully, give me a second, Facebook. Let me silence. Put it on the silence. Let me see. Give me one second. I knew that would hit me in the... I don't know if it's going to let me do it, y'all. Give me a second here. I don't think it's going to allow me to do it. I'm just going to have to hit it, because it's a good thing that I have you all. And I'm so happy for those who are that's able to tune in. Saying all this to say that I feel the responsibility to bring things into its proper perspective, because I've heard and I watched so many. Hey there, Sister Tyra, it's good to see you. I hear and watch so many with the negative. There's a lot of discouragement that's taking place with those who would like to learn how to eat to live and how to heal their bodies and live a more healthier life. But because they constantly hear a flat herbalists and different ones that's coming through that mean very, very well, and it has helped heal a lot of people around the world. When y'all hear blanket statements like, don't eat this, stay away from that, you should not consume, then automatically it gets really discouraging. And yes, that could be considered as a warning before destruction. But I'm one that I paid attention to my elders, and I am so thankful that I had the opportunity as a child and had the desire as a child to always pay attention to my elders. It's not something that I thought to start because I had to get sick or because my daughter was diagnosed with a condition or because my mother or father was sick. This is something that's been with me, and I've shared this before, since I was a little girl. Something said, pay attention to your elders. Pay attention, even the ones that were sick. Pay attention to how they are making it day by day. It was just always interesting to me. So by the time the age of 17, actually it started at 13, I started doing missionary work with my great auntie Bernice and with my mom. May she rest in peace. Her anniversary, as I shared earlier, would be tomorrow. So you all keep me in your prayers, but most definitely keep my family in prayers, because it's still not easy, as you all can imagine. Even a couple of years later, it's still like she's not been gone past a day. That's just how lively her spirit was, and how good-hearted and good-natured she was, and how much of a mama and grandmama and auntie and sister she was, and dear friend to everyone that met her. So keep my family in prayer. I do want to say that in your good positive prayers, that God will comfort their hearts during tomorrow. But back to the responsibility and recognizing when we are getting discouraged. I'm here to share with you all not to. I know that's what I'm going to say, don't do. I'm not going to tell you what not to eat. All we can tell you is that as of right now, the scientists have shown and proven that, and we see it based off of the increase of sicknesses and illnesses, that they are putting more chemicals in the food than they were 30, 40 years ago, 20 years ago, 10 years ago. There's an increase. I can tell you now that before Google take it down, that you can even Google that. If you see, I saw a post, and I think I did share it on my Facebook page. My apologies, YouTube, for those of y'all that's on YouTube. I haven't quite mastered how to share certain things on YouTube, but when I do, oh my goodness. But it was showing the difference between even McDevils. I call them McDevils, you all. I just realized that someone else called them McDevils. I believe it was Khalid Muhammad. He called them McDevils. I just saw a tape from him from years ago that I don't know how I missed that one, but he called them McDevils. Well, that is the label that resonated in my spirit too. And they would from there, someone shared a clip where even for McDonald's fries, how they started off, there was only a couple of ingredients from when they first started off back in the 60s or 70s, versus they said to 2024 now is 10 ingredients. It's double that amount of chemicals and ingredients, and even things that they can't even identify, you all. Remember when you first started, when it first started the fast food chain, you didn't see as many people blowing up. You didn't hear about as many people having all of these inflammation problems, all the arthritis, all these extra conditions, until they started, one, increasing how much you ate, and then two, until you saw where they started to advertise it more with Ronald McDevil, not Ronald McDonald, Ronald McDevil. When he started advertising more, then and the more convenient it became, and the more sales they ran, the more commercials they ran, the more our parents started to make that the pit stop versus going home and cook a meal. And that also includes, while we all are getting excited, I gotta throw this in here, while we're getting excited, women, about being able to have all these extra rights and being able to work, no one is more appreciative and thankful if there is justice being done or going to be done concerning women's rights. But that took a lot of our women out of the home. Yes, I said it. No, I'm not past 50 yet. But I still recognize, even when my mother started to work more in the school district at 15, thankfully she deliberately waited and made sure that she took a job that she could check on us in school and write, and that would still have her where she would get home an hour before us and still would have dinner ready, a home cooked meal. Now, no, it wasn't all natural and all from the earth, but it was a home cooked meal, and we did not have to worry about extra artificial things going into our food. And she always implemented vegetation. I will give her that. Now, it wasn't always considered the best of the best as far as we didn't have our own garden at that time. But I watched my great auntie. Yep, I said great auntie, my auntie Janie, which is my great grandmother's oldest sister. She lived into her 90s, and were married, to my understanding, for about 70 some years until death did them part. I saw her up the street have her own garden. And then my great uncle Frank, that you all have seen me tune in, he had a garden that's right next to us. So I saw peaches growing, I saw apples growing, I saw pears growing. And so it was there. And so my mother at that time, she bought a lot of those things, or either we would go and pick those fruits. And I could tell the difference then, how much more healthier we felt in that summertime when those things were growing, and when we were going to snap peas and snap okra. No, we didn't like them like that. Breaking green beans and pulling greens and all that and stuff. No, we didn't like it. But once they prepared it with the love, I was blessed to come. I was birthed and nurtured into by women that was in the kitchen cooking, y'all. Oh, and yes, my heart go out for anyone that didn't experience that. But my mama and my aunties, they cook. And so it's no surprise that I turned out to be Dr. Chef. So that's why y'all don't hear me give no credit to cooking shows and all that. The only element that I had to add was from our elders, from my great auntie Janie, how to grow food from there, because I did notice her food seemed to taste better. Then I'll say, even then, let me say, her vegetation and things tasted more fresh and more better than even my mom and my great aunt. Now, I never told them this because they were serious about putting their love into their cooking. So I knew not to ever say that. But I think that I've made it to a point now where I think I can say that, and they can appreciate it, because they didn't know that I noticed. And this is the reason why it's so important, you all, for us to set the example, because you never know when the children are watching. You never know what impact that is having on the youth. It is something that I do. I will admit, it's something. Hey there, Lady Blue. It's something that I do love about the Nation of Islam, because this is the Nation of Islam teach the youth how to cook. They go in teaching them. I don't care what anyone say about it. We can complain about, find something to pick each other's apart with our really lynched tongues. Yep, I said it. But that you do not have on them. They have taken us back to the foundation, and they have held to it even when the nation was torn apart, and still rebuilt back on the same principle that we need to learn how to eat to live. They didn't go burn up the books on how to do it because of hearsay and naysayers, or because of no great debate. They held tight to, we need to grow our own food. We need to have our own land, and went as far as to teach the women. And still to this day, ask me how I know for a fact. Still teaching them this day how to sew, how to cook, how to do, because at the end of the day, that's what we're going to need. At the end of these wars, that's what we're going to need. They are their own health board. Can you say that for most of our Christian brothers and sisters? I'm saying that to say, you all, there's a lot, especially from our religious specters and these spiritual ways of life, that once we get in the place of where we want to debate with each other, understand that we all have something that we can offer each other, and that we can learn from each other, that would be good for our health, that would be good for our souls. And so that's what I like to promote. That is what I like to support. And there it goes. Back to the sea mouse, y'all. I'm on a roll. $40 for your sea mouse. Helps with fighting infection, promote heart health. Number one killer, you all, heart health. Promotes healthy thyroids, support immune system. Of course, anything with 102 minerals is going to help boost the immune system. It's good for nerves and skin, good antidepressant, promoting free, look at this, free radical cells. You see these phones? I'm right in front of computers. I push these computer back on purpose. It may look like I'm close to you all, but I push these back on purpose. This is the reason why I don't have to have glasses. These are little stylish glasses, y'all. These are stylish. This is not no prescription. I like them because they had hearts, and they didn't cost me much. I just love them because they got heart, because I love loving. But And I don't have to scrunch my eyes like I was at first when I had the computer up in my face these past 2 years. And I realized that my vision was starting getting damaged. After 2 weeks of taking this, I didn't have that issue anymore. I lie not. I was thinking about it when I first started taking it, but then I let it go. And I was trying to focus on, let me lose this extra 10 pounds that I picked up, because I wasn't able to cook like I wanted to with all of the moving that I had been doing. And so I got to I said, okay. And before I knew it, I looked at the screen and my vision was being clear. I didn't even get around to taking my colloidal silver, which that is out of stock, you all. My apologies. That is a liquid form of colloidal silver that I teach how to do drops for those who have glaucoma and nearsighted diseases, any form of inflammation in the eyes, you all. It has worked. I had worked on that with son of mine at the time, the past 2 years, that had a real bad condition, a rare condition with the vision. Some of you all that tuned in then heard about it, were able to get the excess amount of mucus out of his vision so that he could be able to heal. His eye would be able to heal enough to where he could get the surgery for the rest. But they were amazed by how the colloidal silver helped. And that is not in the books, you all. That is only something that God has blessed those of us who have worked with you all from a natural means to find out about. And to this day, to my knowledge, I don't know if there were any side effects. I haven't heard of any side effects at this point. And that being said, still keep all of my family and those lives that we have touched in prayers. Okay, you all. So I'm saying all that to say that for those who want to support or that want to try to see moss and flakes, then please do so. Note that this will do your body good. You remember how they used to say on the commercial, milk will do your body good, pass it on? Sea moss will do your body good, pass it on. And then also for my moringa, powerful moringa. I don't have my label on the back to go down my list again. Let me double check right fast in a second. Okay. Power of the moringa, you all. And this is really tiny in the back. So you can use the little wedge card when you purchase a moringa. This would be on the back. Some of the labels have may not have these, but when you call, you do get a chance to get a free 10 to 15 minute consultation, you all, when you purchase anything. So let me inform you all of that, because I'm sure some have forgotten about that you do get a free consultation. Please like, share. This is only $25 for the moringa, but very powerful and very light based. You really can't taste it much, even though those there are those that like to use it it's in tea form. That's what's called a moringa tea, because it is a herb too. It's light flakes. It's very light flakes. And so this is the organic, caffeine free part, and the benefits that we have is that it's high in antioxidants and normalized blood sugar, y'all. This is what I used for a client that was in the hospital the last couple of weeks. That was a diabetic that unfortunately got so bad to where they had to be amputated. Their leg and their feet had to be amputated. It got really, really bad, you all, to the point where magnets and bad, horrible infections was in them, to the point to where the doctors was saying it was no more that they could do for them, because of the infection was going straight to the heart, and the antibiotics was not working. And this is part of what was used, along with seeded watermelon. And what I have right now is my hibiscus tea. But I had my seeded watermelon in this container. I already drank that up. But what he did was it even cleared them out, and just with a few organic cucumbers. I eat those raw, you all, to keep my to cleanse my gut, just for the record. Then you add these as little bonuses. You can stretch your things. That's the reason why we say 30-day supply. For those who all are not been told, I'm sorry that you're not. But I'm here to state to you that you only need about a tablespoon. This will stretch you out for 30, 40 days. And in most days, you don't need it every day. You can take it once every few days. When you have a very potent, powerful, all natural source of any type of herb, hear ye, hear ye. Let me get into my old English. You do not have to worry about overtaking these things and not getting results. You just have to ask God for a little patience, But I promise you, because when you worry, they had an old saying, for those of us that was raised to pray, that if you're going to pray, don't worry. If you're going to worry, don't pray. Because your prayer won't be answered if you're worried about it, meaning that you don't have any faith. Meaning, and then here it is, the work has already been done. So it says faith without works is nothing, basically. The work has been put in. Somebody went and got these things out, you all, for. So let me go down the list again. As it's good. It's a good antidepressant, the natural form of it. It normalized blood sugar. It's a good anti-inflammatory, meaning it reduces inflammation as well. It's good for stimulating hair growth. I am a witness of that. Y'all see me, I take my hair out. My hair is still black at almost 50. And there's a lot of my peers that are not anymore. And that's not to put anyone down. I'm just telling you that I do contribute that to eating more healthier and having a more healthier lifestyle and having a prayer life as well. The reason why I don't have grades, because God knows it's not because I haven't had stress and worry in my life. I think you all know that. And God knows it's not because of that, because if that's the case, within the last couple of years alone with the transition of my mother and my daughter, then that means that I should be full of grades at this point, right? For me, that would have been enough, because you can't do this type of work and work in this type of healing ministry and then not have a deep, compassionate heart when someone transition. That's the first thing that goes on in our minds, is that we want to be able to say, we want to be God. Yeah, I'm saying that we want to be God and say, and we want to choose the time. And in some cases, he allowed me to stretch out the time. I see that much for sure. He allowed it where I was able to watch the development, the health. I was able to watch the seizures disappear down to none in most days. I was able to go from 100 to I was able to see what the natural herbs and the healing of the land would do. But then also I believe that he wanted me to be reminded that we can't take this for granted. That if you start now, because there are some of you all that have grandchildren and some that may tune in now and later that may be thinking about planning a family, and you're thinking that, oh, it'll be okay to start your baby off with eating other regular foods that you know are not homegrown food, that may be genetically modified. And there are already statistics and stats showing where there are different kind of diseases now they're able to label based off of the artificial chemicals that's inside of those foods now. I just heard about the recall on the Similac and on other baby formula for mothers that feel like they shouldn't give suck anymore, that they shouldn't breastfeed anymore, or they just don't have the time, or it may not be healthy enough. That's another reason you all take this. And this is the moringa is important for you all to know that it is safe for babies from the age, what's the age range? I think a year, up to a year or 6 months. Safe for the children to be able to consume. Yeah, don't recommend you to do that every day. You don't have to do that every day. I just want to make sure that I saw what I saw. Now, yeah, nutritional for infants, age 6 months and older, and pregnant and nursing mothers. I have some clients that's trying to get pregnant now, and I'm coaching them now. They're already getting, just through eating healthy, even though they got a lot going on. They're already, their hormonal system, the sisters, the women's, the system is already working. Where at first, going back and forth for testing, they wasn't getting anything, and they've been trying. I tell them, stay on the path and keep that mind clear. Keep the faith. Keep the love flowing there between you and your husband, and you will see birth take place. But more importantly, eat from the earth. For those of you all that have mothers and children, and the different ones that still want to have children during this time, then go right, moringa. If there's any inflammation, if there's any scarring, is there any concern with diabetes, if there's any concern with inflammation, any concern with ulcers, any concern with detoxification, any concern with the increase of energy, any concerns with your cholesterol level, any concern with blood pressure, any concern with depression for strengthening your immune system, and any concern with libido issues with the male, or any concern with fungal issues, that can go fall underneath the line, ladies, as any type of venereal diseases and infections that you've had as well. If you have moringa, okay? And so we have that still in stock. And then my colon cleanse, as you all know, coming is I have not been able to keep my ready packages in stock. You all, that's how busy I've been. But you all know in the same bag, you get 2 bags of the colon purifier. As you see, I use mine, y'all. This is the one that I had left that was set to go. And I put it inside of my watermelon, to be honest. When I want blended watermelon, I put my moringa inside of my watermelon. I put a tablespoon or and sometimes just a teaspoon in, and I drink it down because it doesn't distort the taste at all. So you don't have to worry about that. Or either I'll sprinkle it inside a little salad or inside of mango juice, or I'll just take and put it inside of whatever little soup. If I make a tomato soup, and with onions and garlic and things of that nature, when I'm doing hot food, I'll sprinkle it in there afterwards, and then I'll get it in that way. Bottom line is the knee pain that I had, that I shared with you all, that I had when I hit my knee twice on some iron, and it swelled up from my front into my back. I even went out to Savior's Day with it in Detroit, Michigan during that time, and they had a section in the convention center where I had to walk up. It felt like 100 stairs, but the pain was so sharp in my knee to where I didn't realize until after I walked the steps, and then finally after I'm gonna walk them again because we had other events. It started being sharper more, but I kept pressing because I knew that exercise is still good for if you had gotten inflammation. So I got to a point where I'm honest. I'm be honest with you all. I thought that maybe I had shattered something and broke something because I was still practicing taking my martial arts classes at that time too, and I was trying to practice on how to jump up without having to move my hands. So I had all this extra going on, and then jumping in and out of my truck, and I was like, oh. And then there you go. I hadn't made it to 49 yet. So, I'm hearing all this stuff like y'all do, looking at the commercials and getting myself all like, oh, okay, God, all this. But when you know that you know that you know that you know, now it was time to put that moringa, to put that sea moss, to put in eating healthy and the watermelon. It was time to put it to work then, y'all. And when I tell you that when I stopped thinking about it, and just did what was natural, I prayed about it. I said, okay, I'm paying too much attention to it. I'm taking my vitamin D3. I'm doing this and doing that. Some say, okay, just keep walking up and down the stairs. I have elevators in my office, but at the same time, I also have stairs I can ride. Some say, keep walking those stairs. Keep doing the muscle exercise. Take your moringa at least for 2 weeks. Take your sea moss at least for 2 weeks. Take your potent vitamins that you have and eat healthy. You know what to do. Yeah, when I even sat out in the sun. I told you all about that and how it reduced. It worked, but I had to be consistent. Even in my shape where I was not overweight, you all, I have not been diagnosed with any diseases. Still, I did not have arthritis. I still had to be consistent at least for those 2 weeks. Some say for a whole month. And it wasn't until I realized that I had to lock in into me a mental system in order for me not to have to think about falling off and then the pain coming right back, because that's exactly what happened. I just knew to give it a little bit of time, you all. Look at where we are now. We're approaching it to the 9th month almost. But that started, I noticed that pain from the beginning of February all the way until 30, 40 days ago. And all I could contribute it to was the fact that I wasn't on my own regimen, that it didn't heal as fast without no signs of no discomfort until I locked into a system, no matter what was going on. Because as you know, it's the easiest thing for those of us who are in the health field and that's in the healing business. It's the easiest thing for us to do is to forget about ourselves while we're thinking about everybody else. But I had gotten a permission because I seen something written that says, save yourself from this untoward generation. So I remember that word. I remember that scripture. I said, I think this falls in that category that I need to How much of a crying shame would that be for me to have access to all this stuff and I not use it? I've seen it done. I've seen it done where so many times that I have held elders that white and black that had in the past when I first started this, where they had access to everything. I mean, cabinets full of essential oils. They had cabinets full. They had every tea on the sun, all these different herbs, and here they was. Their body was reaping with diseases all the way up until the age of 70 and 80 years old. Arthritis, all different type of inflammation, cancer, diagnosed with cancer, high blood pressure, diabetes, you name it, skin disorders, and yet goes look in the cabinet and I asked them about it once it's time for them to get their session. And here it is. Oh, I have that. Oh, I have that. Oh, I have that. Oh, I have that. Oh, I got vitamin D2. I got this. I got that. Now, at that time, almost 15 years ago, I didn't know that the market was actually selling. I was just not learning about artificial vitamins and herbs. I didn't know that the industry had seeped over into giving us artificial, fake, natural things. I didn't know it in detail. Let me put it like that. But my sisters told me that something is off if I'm running into or I'm coming across as many people that have been taking all these different herbs and different things for all these different years, and here it is, they're not getting any results. So that's what made me dive into wanting to have my own brand, you all. Not nothing else. Nothing else. It was just a prayer and a desire. It's like a sense they said, then I can trust what I am promoting. And then it made me want to most definitely look into when there's other products that's been sold and who is distributing it. And I made up my mind then that if I found out that something was not right, that I would just stop supporting. And so you all have to make the conscious decision too. Today, I'm sharing with you all on this Wellness Wednesday, make the conscious decision, one, to make a commitment to yourself, to get on a small regimen, and for the healthy things that you have. And if it's just that you have homegrown food, eat it, use it. If you have more than what you can take in and more than what you can store, share it with your neighbors. Ask. Some of you all go to church, some of you all go to mosques, some of you all have jobs. You'll be surprised how many people would love to that you could barter some with that would give you money or something else in exchange for it. That's what we're going back to. And if they say they have a good grade of sea moss, moringa, and it's not from Dr. Chef, that's fine too. Use it, you all. That's what's been on my heart and on my mind to share with you all that we must do. Because there are so many out here now that's teaching in detail about all these other things. I don't always feel the need to go into the depths of it because I know that the information is out there. What I would like to do is that when I tune in to you all on Wellness Wednesdays, that you all just ask me the questions if I believe that something is authentic, or you can use the 618-388-8100 number. As you all know, different ones. So Sister Lawrence, Thomas, different ones to tune in. They know that you can ask me questions. You can screenshot or take a picture of the back, a good picture of the back of your label, and I'll let you know if whether or not it's good. And my God, don't give me a 1-800 number. Yes, I am one that do the hard work. I will stay on the line for half an hour to an hour until I get down to the nitty gritty of where this is coming from. Yeah, that is I. And I've been like that for years because I had to be like that as a mother to know what was going into my daughter's system before I became a full-fledged naturopath to know, wait a minute, does this cause drowsiness? Because that's what she has. Does this cause epilepsy? That's what she had. Does this cause irritable bowel syndrome? Because she had it. You know what I'm saying? And so I felt compelled before I became a naturopathic doctor to do these things for my own child. I felt compelled to do it beforehand for my own mother, for my parents, for my family. So this is the reason why you all hear that I'm not as much of a salesperson as I am more compassionate about teaching you all the importance of taking one step at a time and not so much focusing on telling you what you cannot eat. Because it is a fact. I had someone that brought the attention to me about them talking about corn. Yeah, the corn here, we have many fields of all throughout Illinois, the state of Illinois and Missouri. However, Corn is a staple food all over the world in most places, especially in Mexico and other places. And they do their agriculture system do not it's not set up like us. They won't allow certain chemicals to be placed in their food. And even though so far so good, I have not done research at all or spoken to anyone that could tell me what the health benefits of it is outside of us getting popcorn out of it and liking to eat it. And I'm not gonna lie, y'all, I was a cornhead. I'm telling you right now, I was a cornhead. I would eat corn any kind of way I can get it. Grind it, cold, out the can, frozen, sweet, seasoned, you name it. Corn on the cob, fried, boiled, you name it. I was a cornhead, okay? Mm-hmm. I love me some corn. You could have called my last name Felicia Ann Corn, and I would have been good by it. So I'm saying that to say that no, I didn't that I know of suffer any conditions from it. But then again, maybe I did because I had horrible cramps and migraines. I had when my blood circulation was off, but I knew that was from the sugar and junk food that I was trying to use so I can keep myself up from all of the regimen and the schedule that I had of always having something to do every hour. And so I'm saying that to say, you all know, don't beat yourself up about it, but please don't get anything that's labeled genetically modified. And if you're going to go that route, then I do highly recommend that you cook it. You go that route, I do recommend you add a little moringa in there. Add a little sea moss. This is how you get around some of these things. See, other people ain't going to tell you because it's the reason why they call me Dr. Chef, because I'm a cook. Add some of these things in there towards the end if you are not at that place to where you can cold turkey stop something that you've been doing all your life and that your family have. I like to give you guys ways out to try to ease you out of there. This is part of coaching, you all. This is part of coaching. Let me check this text right fast. Facebook. Someone said Dr. Chef on my new number. Oh, okay. Thank you, darling. I got it, dear. I got it. Send your greetings to your parents and your family for me, sister. But yes, add your herbs, okay, so that it can help fight off. It can, but don't boil it in with the other. These are light herbs that the body can digest. These are light flakes. If I may, some of you all know what it look like. Maybe some of you all don't know what moringa look like. But let me go ahead and test this for you all so I can show you. Just in case you don't. They're very, very light, flaky. Very, just little thin flakes, y'all. Real thin. For those of y'all who hasn't had the moringa. Very, very, very thin. It really doesn't have much of a taste. You would think that you just got a little piece of leaf. Very deceptive, but very good. Can I hear somebody say good things come in small packages? Very powerful. I don't have that knee pain no more, you all. Now, the sea moss, not so much like that. That powder got a nice little good season to it. You don't ever add any sea salt or anything when you're adding sea moss. Do not do it. That's your flavor and that's your seasoning right there, y'all. You heard it from me. You want to mess up your dish? For those of you all that's not on strict fruits and vegetations, add salt in with too much, with more than a tablespoon of sea moss, and you'll find out. Unless you're picking like what I do, the big old 2-3 quarts of chili and all the big pots of food that I used to have to cook all the time. Unless you're getting those. So that's what I recommend for those of you all that are getting fed up and getting really frustrated with when you want to eat certain foods that you are traditionally used to eating, and you're concerned about whether or not it's going to have a real bad effect on your body. Then I recommend for you to go ahead and purchase your sea mosses, your moringas, the different herbs, your onions. Make sure that you got raw, natural onions. And yes, I'm still going with the SKU number 9, or go aim for a farmer's market that do not, and ask them, they will tell you. Garlic, onions, for those of you all that don't have too much of a high acidic body in you, level in you, to where it is causing you to break out. because you know garlic is good. It's still good, and I know there are some that's against garlic. But here in America, most of us is surviving off of homegrown garlic. You can bake it a little bit, and you can add it, but it's good with reducing inflammation. So is ginger. When you cannot get these things, get your ginger. If you don't have leaky gut syndrome, if you don't have a tear in your colon or in your intestines that you know of, get your ginger. Use your ginger. Use it 1 tablespoon or so. Stir it up in the food. Stir it up in your drink. You can add a little honey or a little agave or it's another one, monk fruit. It's so many options. Date syrup. We got so many other options for so-called sugar. And know that refined sugar, if you don't have to go that route, then don't go that route. Take it straight. For those of y'all that used to drink beer or drinkers, come on now, y'all. Come on, y'all. I remember a little girl trying to sneak. Yep, I'm finna tell off of myself. One of my uncles had a little beer sitting to the side. I think it was a Bud Light or a Miller Local or whatever it is. Look at, I don't even know the name. Anywho, all I was thinking about as a little girl was root beer. When I heard them say beer, I was thinking about root beer. I just didn't know why I was in that funny can. I just thought maybe that was a male thing. So yeah, I was a little sneaky. I went ahead, I looked around both places, saw the can sitting there. I guess it was a big family event there, and he's in the back. They way in the back room. I went snuck through it because I'm seeing them singing like this thing tastes so good, and I'm hearing them go. Didn't pay attention at the time that they were hiding. Went to go taste that stuff. Oh my God, it was so nasty, so bitter nasty. I don't know how y'all do it. I don't know how the beer drinkers did it. I don't know. I said, I did not see man the same ever again. I couldn't have been no more than about 4 years old, thinking that I'm going to sneak in here and taste what they're tasting. I'm thinking it's a soda pop or root beer, because I kept hearing them say, "Yeah, you got that beer? Yeah, you got it." Then I'm hearing them sneak back. Looking back on it, then the first grade child, I realized they were sneaking in the back because my uncle was at the time would have been no more than 16, 17, 18. And clearly my grandmother did not allow them to drink. But that's what happened when you got children around. They might sneak into something. Y'all know how they go. Yeah. But I promise you this much, they didn't have to worry about me ever trying it again. And to this day, I did not drink beer. I'm saying all that to say, y'all, for especially around men, and I'm hearing these women that drink beer too. Y'all can drink that bitter stuff and that bitter wine and vodka and scotch and all that. Oh my God! Then surely you all can take in some herbs and some water and drink that down. Think about it. That causes liver issue problems if you get addicted to it. And I do counsel, for the record, for those who are alcoholics, to get down to the why, and where you are. It's ending my live, you all, for Facebook. So sorry about that, Facebook. Oh, sorry about that. I have to let them go. I got to go back in again so they can get their time in, y'all. For some reason, and I guess they only give you an hour, because I think I've been in for an hour. I'm not going to look at questions, you all. Questions, you all, because y'all know I got a tons of stories to say and tell, and so I do recognize. I was like, I need to let y'all get in, because I know y'all probably like me. I like hearing a good story. I like hearing about how people come into doing what they love to do. I do, just like you all do. But I want you all to ask some questions, especially for those who all that have friends and loved ones that like to ask you a lot of questions about things. Please take out this time, you all, to do it. I do have class at 7:30, you all, so I do need to end by 7. I did try to come in earlier, but a lot of my work that I do prior to coming before you all It is a crunch time, and I still have plenty to do. And yes, I'm still doing a lot of moving. I know you all like, "What she been saying? She been doing a lot of movement." Yes, I have had to do a couple of different moves, you all. It has not been easy to do this because I was trying to do certain things centered around family, and you know how that works. Some of you all may know how that works, some of you don't. If you don't, then may God be the glory. You're you're blessed. But for me, this is time that I had to this is a time that I had to use to reflect and to make even wiser decisions. And that's what I mean by when you're more healthier, you can do that. And even when you're healthy, you all, it can still be challenging when it's something new. When you're dealing with a lot of important responsibilities, it could be a lot. Young people that tune in, don't let it fool you. Here we go. Hey there, brother Brian. How you doing? Hello, Dr. Shep. I hope all is well. I've been getting people saying that to me, STDs can't be reversed naturally. What are your thoughts on this? That is a lie. Yes, they can be. They can be reversed every day. Not once again, you can use the powerful moringa. Helps with actually. This is what I'm sure it already. I don't know if you were in already, brother Brian, but even down here, we have for the fungal part of is like an anti-deceptive, and it does operate in that manner. Antioxidants will help with there. There's all different type of bitter herbs, but I would need to know what kind of um, I would need to know what kind of STDs because the kind does matter what kind of herbs. So there are several different herbs that help with eliminating STDs. The ones, and then also I understand that spices do too because a lot of them are feeding off of yeast, you all. So know when people have STDs, it's very vital that you eliminate meat, toxic meat, and bread yeast that it attaches to those bacterias and those transmitted type of parasites and infections feed off of sugar, feed off of toxic flesh and meat, feed off of any form of yeast that comes from the artificial bread. It feeds off of other chemicals. And so, if you want to increase those chances of eliminating STDs, then you want to increase your herbs. You want to increase with your spices if you're able to, and the different bitter herbs, rather, that kills off the yeast and the sugar content that it breathes and live off of when you're talking about STDs. And that is something that I can coach in as well. Um, like AIDS. Oh, yeah, that's autoimmune. Okay, yes, it can be, brother. Thank you for that question. Yes, that is likened to an autoimmune disease. That's about boosting the immunity. There are those that I know that have reversed it, but only when you stick to taking your herbs. That's what I was talking about earlier. Consistency. So I would put someone that is suffering with an immune disease or with AIDS or they had any diagnosis with, I would put them on herbs, these particular herbs, and just a few others, anywhere from 30 to 90 days, because in between that time, you would see that your body would be given that it needs to help boost the immune system. That is that's an infection within the bloodstream as well too when we're talking about HIV. You all heard about Magic. That's how he did it. And I am a distributor to company that, if you all remember, that we used during the time of the sea, that was good for boosting the immune system. That Magic Johnson is also a distributor and a supporter of this company right here, you all. And do he look like he's in his BMI, even though he's tall? No. But these diseases can be reversed, you all. I think he's still a businessman. I think he's still a father. I think he's still up and alive. I don't think he looks like he's about that he's missed a meal. But yes, him and plenty others, and I personally know those who know him, that have reported that he's doing fine after being diagnosed with it. But these, don't be deceived, you all. They use these products. Don't be deceived. Just remember that they work for an industry to where they're not allowed to promote certain things because too many of them have too many of the companies that they have in stock. Now, I can't say that personally for him. I'm not going to say that because I don't want to be quoted stating that I know what each specific so-called athlete or superstar support. I am aware of certain things that they do, but I want to put that disclaimer out there because ain't nobody coming to sue me for saying something specific about what they're doing, because I know these things are recorded and it stays there. So I only want to say that I can prove and that I know about for sure. Okay. But I do know for sure that there are plenty of celebrities and those who are athletes that are big time stars that cannot, they have been gagged, they cannot endorse certain herbs and certain things that are not owned through the government. Okay. Y'all see what happened when Shaquille O'Neal decided to go and support this the CBD industry. They gave him a hell of a time for it. Yes, I said it. They gave him a hell of a time for it. Yes, they did. Facebook, if you all are able to tune back in, could you please let me know if you're still there? I have about 30 more minutes. Oh yeah, they gave him a time because remember they're endorsers. A lot of them are already endorsers of Big Pharma in ways that you all don't know, and a lot of them are also remember they endorse the fast food industry for their um, that's why a lot of the rappers were catching flack for promoting McDevils and Murder Kings and all that in order to be able to make them extra money on the side. You all think about it. If someone is in Facebook, could you please give me a thumbs up or a heart to let me know that you all are able to see me, because I'm not able to see that you're able to see me. It timed out, you all. So we got a half an hour. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm looking to the chat for you all too. Let me know Facebook. And so, yes, sir, you all can. Hey there, Sister Nora. Nora, my daughter have been suffering from symptoms with fluid on the brain. Oh, something she had from being 4 months early. Any suggestions? She's now 18 years old. Oh, yes. Call in, Sister Nori. Call in, Nora. Call in. Yes, reducing the excess amount of inflammation. That's still the sign of a blockage somewhere. Uh, I would need to know if whether or not that they have stated that she has any scarring on the brain, or if she suffered a concussion ever, or any type of injury as a baby. I would need to know a little bit more detail, but that's still assigned to me as a blockage and some form of inflammation if the fluid cannot pass through well enough throughout the brain. As you see, it's made up like a balled up piece, wrapped up like a maze. And I did have to, because of my daughter Nijay, when she was here, I did have to do a lot of self study in neurology and understanding the mind, and just to find out that it's so much that they don't know about the brain and how it's capable of healing itself once you rewire it, just even through thought, you all, through the power of thinking, that there is certain sound, and even through music. Yeah, through music, not the music, through music, that the vibrations in the brain and the nervous system, how it takes and it'll open up passages to neurons and the electrons in the mind to allow it to pass the signal to heal itself. Yeah, y'all, it's deep. So I would highly recommend you to look into those things like that. But you know what I'm going to do? I would say that she has to encourage her to stay away from high inflammation foods, anything that's artificial at this point, at least for 21 to 30 days, so she could see any difference, to open up any patches that's in the mind, that's in her brain, that may be blocked, because that is one of them. And sometimes it can, believe it or not, mothers, when we are carrying our children, I don't know if this is the case with you, Sister Nura, but their children can carry our trauma. As a mother, I know I birthed 4 children. Children can carry our trauma in the womb when they come out with certain conditions, you all. And some of them happen through labor and delivery. I don't know how your baby had come into the world or enter into the world, but there are a lot of things, you all, unfortunately, that is done when mothers are not looking in the hospitals too. Come on. Yes, Sister Nur, I know you know the history some, but you may not know it in its fullness. So it's something that we have to consider, you all. But nevertheless, it's not no disease that I don't believe that cannot be reversed. And so if you could please call in for a session, Sister Nuri, and we set up a time and date, and be persistent. If you can't give me, I do have availability for tomorrow that's open. I want to hear, so there'll be no charge to you for tomorrow. I want to hear, um, if you can remember, you have a little homework to do. What was taking place at the time when you birthed her at 4 months? I know it's some time away, but I know moms, hey, we remember, because there's more than one way to unlock certain diseases, and I practice them all, and they are spiritual ways to unlock certain diseases and conditions. So please do me a favor and let me know what is the time that's good for you. I know I have availability open for tomorrow. I believe between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. and then possibly again at 4 or 5 p.m. So text me, not at the 618, you have the 314 number. Text me at the 314 number, and we can discuss it from there, okay? If you don't give me the, keep calling, okay? I already gave you the permission. Keep calling me, and we can discuss it so we can get down to the bottom of that. And thank you so much for the question. Okay, Brother Brian, also, what are your thoughts of women wearing weaves, weaves and makeup? All right, me and Calvin, what's up now? Oh, come on, Brian. Why you set me up like that? I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. Okay. I confess. That was some of my Muslim sisters and brothers that was getting hackled about them wearing them hijabs in the heat. And as y'all know, I wrap my hair a lot. But there are times when I air out, especially when it's going out into the sun, in order to get these so my hair can absorb some of that sun. I don't think that it's a good thing for us to practice. And for those who do for braid's sake, and I have done it maybe once or twice out the year, I have with the natural human hair. That now, because of the studies that we've come to, and I'm all for beauty and for us women keeping ourselves up and adorning ourselves, because that does help boost self-esteem, and it is scientifically been proven that it does help raise it relieves us of stress when a woman feels beautified in some way that she thinks that is beautiful, or when she gets compliment, and the same for our men as well. So I'm not anti-beauty or the beauty industry. I am anti anytime we use anything with chemicals. And now that we have more research has been shown, now you can Google that. That part you can Google, you all. You can't Google everything, but you can find out by putting in information where that particular hair brand comes from, and they will tell you what their practices is in most cases, and if there's been lawsuits, because now I'm hearing more and more lawsuits is coming back with this fake weave, you all. So I do not support the fake weave that we our women are using in order to beautify yourself. I would rather you do like I've done, and take that hair and braid that stuff up and put it up, twist it up. I got my hair twisted now, you all. I don't have fake weave in my hair. There have been times when I have worn some that were human, and I prayed over it. I washed out. I did a whole lot of things, and then I will not. If I do even 1 inch, I'm taking it out. Wigs, I'm anti-wig all the way. Even though there are a lot of sisters wearing lace front on wigs, I am anti that as well, because of too many researchers that we have that's coming back with the lights and the bugs and different things there. And our women, yes, I know a lot of you all soak it, wash it, clean it real good, and you feel like you're fine. But I have noticed in too many times, now this is a personal question that you're asking me. I'm not giving you nothing scientific. Now I'm going to tell you what I've noticed personally. Personally, for those that I've been around, a lot of those I've been around, it dampens the spirit of the woman in a lot of ways, or either it gives us a false sense of being somebody that we're not. That's the reason why I particularly don't care for wigs. I noticed a change in personalities first. It's no different than even when you're married and you heard about when to play role play. Do the woman act like herself if she gonna put on a blonde wig for her husband? Let's go there. Let's just go there, Brother Brian. I'm going there now because that is a good question. Do she act like herself or do she act like something else? Oh, baby, is she acting like a nurse? So anytime you take and you put on a look that does not represent naturally who you are, this is the reason why we had allowed braids to slide, was because that was supposed to be a symbol of us embracing our culture, embracing our natural look or our natural hair, even if we didn't have a lot of long hair. My hair now to this day is right here to my shoulders and to my back. I just cut it. I just got my split ends cut maybe about 2 months ago, but only after about it's been about 8 or 9 years since I got my split end cuts. But my hair is here. My daughter's hair is down here. My other daughter, hers is down here. They've been natural the whole time through. I had one person to try me in that area of putting perms and a lot of different things in their hair. And there was a conversation that was had for sure. One. And so I'm saying that to say, and my nieces is the same way. I got nieces that favor me and look like me. My daughter must, if she tuned in, she must have heard me. Hey, mama. Oh, okay. I'm a get to her in a minute. She's asking about her brother. I just spoke up my daughter. To this day, they got long hair, and my niece is the same way. They're black young ladies, you all, with black, cold, natural hair. Me and my sister-in-laws, we went back and forth talking about how with the hair, and if they do weave for their little braids, for their little locks, they make sure that they don't keep that stuff up in their hair for a long length of time, meaning past 4 to 6 weeks. And then they also make sure that they clean. They also use all natural hair products. And we have been doing that since our girls were little girls. Okay. So that's what I embrace when we're talking about natural black hair or our ethnic melanated women. Black hair is beautiful. I have all texture, all grade, fine, thin to thick and coarse, and all of these different thick coarse. I have thick hair myself. But I try my best to stick it in and put it up and take it out because, one, I don't like the pollution of the air. This is one of the reasons why I started. It wasn't just for spiritual reasons of feeling covered, but it's because something in me told me that I should cover my hair. And I've been doing this on and off since I was 15 years old. My grandmother covered her hair. Some of the women in my family did too. Not my mother, but my great grandmother, rather. They would cover their hair. And so I initially started this off. And yes, for a long time, people thought that I was Muslim right then and there because I would wrap my hair when other young women would not wrap their hair. But it was just something that was in me that said that something is in the air. You need to cover your head. And I noticed that it's something that's naturally in our men most of the time, even for those who like seeing hair, that you get a little bit more respect when you cover anything. Anytime you cover, you get a little bit more respect, even for men that like seeing flesh. I noticed that. And I like the respect that comes with that. I will admit, women. So for those of you all that's in transition, I highly recommend if you're trying to transition out of wearing so much weave and fake wigs that got all these chemicals that taken out. It's been linked to alopecia too, and linked to thinning hair, even with these. Now, this is a satin one that I have on now, so it won't pull on my edges. But even I had experienced thinning of the edges because I would wear the wrong material sometime and didn't realize that I was supposed to be wearing more satin than any type of rayon or polyester, all of those other fake fabrics that look cute, but that holds chemicals too. I just posted that on my Facebook page where there's a link that I have there where I show the different fabrics and how it's linked, is cancerous chemicals even in the fabric, you all. So it's not just wigs, it's not just weave, it's in the fabric as well too. They have found 1,000 different ways, you all, to get us sick and have us coming through that hospital, just like they do with the court system. So good question. As for makeup, no. I tried to do my homework on the Barely Mineral. I am anti-makeup. unless a woman has taken on, unfortunately, and yes, I counsel in these areas too. If she's been abused, you all, and because of the psychological damage that the toll that it has, or if the skin is to a place to where it's caused a major depression. Look at it. I lost a few with saying that I'm anti because it's okay though. Once again, yeah, you can't have you can't have everybody. Everyone is not going to always going to agree with everything that we say. Okay, I'm almost done. Facebook is giving them a time, y'all. Give me 1 second here. Let me let them back in because I know some of them need to hear it. Yeah, anti-makeup. You know, I have a daughter that's into makeup. Yeah, I lost some more because of that too. Because it's not 7 o'clock, is it? Or maybe it's right. So yeah, I lost some more for that, or maybe they just had to take care of some business. Anywho, makeup attached to too many dermatologists. Even the dermatologists are telling women not to wear makeup and cover and have done much testing. It's loaded with all different type of cancerous chemicals as well inside of the makeup. I've never liked makeup, not just because of traditionally my parents. My mother didn't wear makeup, my grandmother didn't, and to my knowledge, my great grandmother. I have their pictures in right here before me now, and they're all natural. So I come from mostly all natural women for the most part. I think if they ever tried anything in their youth, it may have been a little eyeshadow, a little eye something. But so that comes natural for me, ladies and brothers, to not to wear makeup. Also, I was raised in the Sanctified Church where they taught against it. So we at the time we couldn't wear earrings. They didn't recommend you couldn't. You better make sure that even your lip gloss is not popping too much. And so no makeup was allowed then. So I spent the first 40 years, almost close to the first 37 years of my life being a part of ministries that taught against the women adorning themselves. They associated makeup as having a Jezebel spirit. And so that's the type of teaching that I had. Now where I am and now where I work with all different type of religious backgrounds. I'm Muslim, is the nation Islam, Hebrew Israelites, and all that. Now a lot of them are more open to allowing the women to wear it, but I still do not have the desire to wear makeup because I understand that these things are chemical and they're very toxic to the skin, and then we already finding out that they're starting to affect the neurological mindset of the people. I've also spoken to I know of a couple of sisters that work in the funeral business. Where they have linked makeup, hair weave, and different things to different diseases that is found in the scalp right before they get ready to embalm the bodies. And they say they only see it, especially with perms, as you all know, but they only see it in Black women. So keep in mind that if we're not like them, and a lot of them are made of other things that we're not made of, then that means that we shouldn't be wearing anything that they're made of. Just like we was not supposed to be eating the pork and the pig and the other things that they were eating. Even though we're surviving, we're not surviving at our best health though, because we're taking on the ways of heathens. We've taken on the eating habits of those who do not have our DNA in and that don't fully believe in eating from the earth and eating sun fruits and eating for the health and wellness of your melanation. Can I say it that way? The majority don't. The commercial lie and make it seem like they do, but they don't. That started with us. Our people got teased for smelling like fruit, for washing up and bathing. There's always saying, even with the makeup, brother. I just came across it the other day, and then I'm get off of it and ask any other question. Where they said if well, one of the naturopaths, I forget her name, she's an older woman. I think she made it to her 90s too. And believe it or not, she was of the other persuasion, but it was true. She said, if you can't eat it, don't put it on your skin. If you can't eat it, don't put it on your skin because your skin is a big pore. It absorbs. How many times, sister? I have tried the makeup before just to see. It was certain times. So I think for a photo shoot, I did. Oh, I could not stand it, but it was light. I told him, look, I don't wear it. I don't wear it. But I did it for my husband at the time. And yeah, it was cute. But I was so irritated. I'm not going to lie, y'all. Y'all can tell I got a bubbly personality by nature and spirit and usually happy about things. Woo. But that got me. And yeah, I took that photo shoot, and yeah, my daughter, my youngest daughter, because they were in the little lashes stuff, they wanted to try it out and just wanted to see how. I said, Mama, you gonna let us do it? And then they already trying to talk me into it for my 50th birthday. Well, now we gonna dress you. I said, yeah, you gonna dress me in what? And so they've gotten upset with me a few times because when they wanted to try and demonstrate, I'm telling off. Good question, brother. I'm telling off on them. When they wanted to go in and look at the lashes, I'm going in and I was like, oh, okay, where's the natural looking ones at the real little? They looking at me like, that you might not wear nothing if you go to get. I said, so you want me to look like I got a caterpillar on my eye because y'all got caterpillars? I said, you want me to look like Mrs. Snuffleupagus? I said, you want me to go around not being able to see because I got to raise up window wipers. And you can imagine the response. Oh, there you go again. Oh, Mom. So, yeah, I've been trying. It's like, I feel like, Jesus, I've been trying and tempted all the way and doing all. I had to stand my ground. Even with wrapping my hair sometimes, I went through that too. Oh, wait, y'all ain't wrapping your hair. But then you always got the more mature ones that understand that it goes with your spirit, your personality, it goes with your beliefs. And then here they're like, no, that's you. Yeah, that's you. Bottom line is no you. And when you eat healthy, you start to learn you. You start to learn how to embrace the God in you. And I promise you, like I told I shared this. Let me make sure it's any other questions. Yes, thank you so much. I'll feel free at 5. I'll be free at 5 p.m. Okay, please text me that, Sister Nerd. Sorry about that laugh out loud. Yes, there are men that worry too. Yep, and I cannot believe it. And that's why, unfortunately, our men are going to start having some of the same conditions. It may take a little longer because your skin is more strong, usually more stronger and tougher. But now that the food is playing a part with the excess amount of soy and chemicals that they have in the food, and now it's lowering our men testosterone. Now you all's body, those who are trying to try everything that a woman is using, and I know it's not brand new, even back in Caesar's time, the men wore makeup, even as far back as Egypt, a lot of them do makeup, but you guys got to understand, that was clay from the earth. They were still using a lot of natural resources even then. It was not them concocting a bunch of chemicals that would destroy a person's skin overnight. How else would we even with our if you compare, go find Maybelline, the ingredients. I'm sure it's in the system. Find Maybelline or Revlon and look at the chemicals from. Find out, say, when did Revlon and Maybelline and what's the other popular makeup lines? They're gonna show you. See, I've studied over some of it, but look at the time when they first made them and then now, and compare the ingredients. They have added more chemicals, you all, that are linked to all forms of skin cancer. We got more and more. I can't tell you how many calls I get about eczema. That wasn't the case when I first, or I remember when more and more people were starting to get more eczema. I even had nieces and nephews that had it. My daughter even had it. And I noticed, I said, wait a minute, what's going on? So not only was it in the makeup, but it was also in the the washing powder. It was also in the dish detergent, and it was also in the hand soap, you all. And then last but not least, the paper towels and the toilet tissue. You guys look it up, it's there. Look on the back. You'll see all those chemicals. And no, not overnight does it affect you, but over a period of time it does. Remember, see, I even had a child, my middle child. I remember my middle girl, she's 24 now. I used to have to, I had to go old school and use the old white diapers for her. Yeah, white diapers. Clean them and wash them. Y'all know I was trying my best to advise me them white diapers because she could not take the chemicals that was inside of the Pampers. Her whole body would break out, her whole bottom, and I feel so bad. I mean, literally looked like somebody would take. And I had my children on literally on a schedule, a notebook. Everyone that knew me, even at the church at the time, knew me. I had my children on the schedule, so I would keep up with every time they needed to be changed, every time they needed to eat. That's the only way I could calculate how to do it. Our praises be to a calculator, to a mother that was good with mathematics. And so that's the only way I could keep on regimen. So it didn't matter what was going on around me. When I set that alarm and I was like, okay, time to change the children, the time to eat, time to this. That's how I kept up with having stepladder children, all three within 2.5 years. Go figure. And so with that being said, I'm saying that to say that I learned that then, and I started to look then. And the first thing in my mind, I was a naturopath then. She was 24. I was just now becoming aware of looking more into it. I didn't have a laptop at the time. I didn't even have the high-tech, the phones. Remember, the phone wasn't used as a computer that much at that time. They weren't giving us all that data through Google and all that at the time. At least if it was, I didn't notice. And so first thing I did was go to the store and look on the back of the label. I just naturally, I hadn't taken classes or nothing about it at the time. I'm gonna say, why is she breaking out every time? I mean, literally like somebody took a knife and cut my baby's bottom area, like literally like a little thin knife. And I'm sitting here. So now if you can imagine to see your child bleeding at that time, and then seeing what looked like somebody done taking a little switchblade and been, I'm on it every 30 minutes trying to make sure that she's not urinating on herself and making sure that, because I know it's staining. I know it when she holler out. That means that every time I'm holding her close at that time. That maybe why she became the mama baby too, but she didn't want nobody else to hold her, not even her daddy. But I'm like, hold on, it's like, because I'm trying to check to make sure I can keep her dry. And so finally something said, and this is the reason why we have to keep ourselves healthy, you all. Something said, I see you, Sister Neri said you'll call me. Okay. Something said, make sure that you read the ingredients on the back of the box. I didn't know what it meant, you all, at the time. But then some said, go back to the cloths. I called my auntie that I had 15 children. And so that's how I came more aware of chemicals that was inside of natural things that we were supposed to be able to use for baby cloths. Even when we ripen birth and then ration take place, all of this, it wasn't just from the artificial milk or Similac, you all. For those of you all that where the babies break out, that's how you know. And now look, now years later, I was telling people then they're going to have a recall on this, and people would just look at me like, what is she talking about? Now, those who knew me knew that I was really spiritual and I had a certain eyesight about certain things. So they didn't laugh about it, especially other mothers. They just paid attention. And so finally, now all these years later, you all, a recall on Similac, a recall on this. Baby Dap, look it up, you all. It's out here now. We are still in the age of information. We have to take it and apply it if you want to have a less stressful life. Less stress. When you know better, you do better. When you do better, you are better. And you don't have to compare your better to someone else. Be the best you can be for you and your family and you yourself, you and God. And I promise you, we won't have as much stress and issues as we're having. And you all heard me tackle that before. So to go back to the brother that asked, and don't be sorry, that was a good question. We need it. Is wigs, weaves, and makeup. Yes, I am anti them because of all of the different eczema and cancer, skin cancer issues, and because I'm one that's really, really passionate, and I love seeing our women embrace their own natural beauty. I don't see anything wrong. That's, if you notice, that's why they came out with a vegan line. So they got the vegan line of eyelashes. I've tried that before. The vegan line of eyelashes where it doesn't have the harsh chemicals. Women are, if you want to go that route and you're used to your makeup, please at least go try to find the vegan version of these makeups or make your own. Cherries, you all, when y'all want a little abuse, a little makeup on your little lips, go get you some cherries. I said it, and a little coconut, a little coconut oil or a little vitamin E. Put that little cherry juice up in there. I'm sure your husbands will love it. Swirl it up in there, put it in the little jar. There go your little lip bruise for y'all that want to have them lips that's popping. Okay, the vegan eyeliner. They have vegan eyeliner with less cruel chemicals in it that won't feed into parasites that can be formed, that they're finding that's coming in between the eyelashes. Y'all with eyebrows. I got my own eyebrows. People thought that I've arched my eyebrows for years. I do not. Courtesy to my dad. I do not have to arch my eyebrows, but I don't believe in us arching. What, when you sweat, then what? God got them there to catch the sweat, y'all. Got your eyelashes in your there to block things from flying into your eye and for blocking sweat from taking over right away. So like I shared before, even with one of my daughters, and when they talking about shaving, I said, no, your hair is there to protect. I used to be very hairy. Hey, there's Sister Shanice. It's good to see you, Shanice. Hey, that's it. It's good to see y'all, beautiful selves. Send my love to the family. I used to be hairy, and Shanice can testify to it because she was. I've known her since elementary school, junior high school. Did we do? I think you was in Lincoln, right? The senior high. I used to be so hairy where they would come. Where there was a couple of fellas that knew that I wasn't finna give them a chance. They just they try to call me She Wolf, or would call the one thing that I had noticed, and I had hair there, and I had a little bit of hair streak going down my back, come from my father's side of the family, high testosterone, you all. But what I noticed is that I could always feel when it was the summertime and the mosquito hit, I could always feel it right when letting it pop it just enough time. Because the hair follicles, you all, are there. Those are antennas to make you aware of not just insects, but things that surround you. Women, I'm gonna go there, y'all. Do I got enough time? What time is? Do I got enough time? Women, I'm gonna go there. I know it's popular for you all to do your shaving, and I know that it is a request from some of the men, but it's not good for us to do that all the way. Okay. That is there to block. Since I had the question concerning the STDs, can they be reversed? And yes, they can be. Yes, they are. There are many that have been healed from STDs if you take the proper herbs and you cut out certain yeast and yeasty food and eating dead flesh that would eliminate you from STDs and things like AIDS, which is an extreme autoimmune disease and condition that calls for the body to go through detoxification, and then for you to be able to replenish the body with the proper minerals and vitamins that the body need, along with eating more healthy. You do that for 30 to 60 days, I promise you, you will see a difference, and the test results will come back far more favorable and more natural. And before you know it, you'll be on your healing journey. Back to the women's vagina. Y'all stop shaving. Don't do that, because once again, the hair grew there, not just because it's warm there, but because those follicles protect your vagina from chemicals that come from the underwear that you're wearing that have coloration in it. So once you sweat down there, ladies, while we trying to work out and make it happen, and that the hair is catching that and blocking it from going back into your vagina. So I think that if us women educated ourselves enough on that, instead of just taking every request and demand from our counterparts that don't understand that, because as you know, the men don't have to worry about that. They're external. So they don't have to worry about nothing going into their whole area and causing infections. And I also know that some of us women do it because we figured that will alleviate us from more sweat, and they'll leave, especially for those who still have a cycle. No, that simply means just clean. Even if you have to take your break every hour or every couple of hours to the restroom when you're working in school, wherever you're doing, carry you some water, spray bottle, carry you something, ladies. Carry you if you're not allergic to virgin non-GMO cold pressed coconut. Put that in the bottle with a little water. I know they say oil and water don't mix, but it won't do you harm. Spray that. But by all means, don't douche and use vinegar that strips you from your natural fluids. And by all means, do not put other chemical creams in your area to try to kill off a yeast infection that's internal. That's the reason why it's coming out of you. That's their body sign of showing you that it's trying to detoxify itself from toxic chemicals in yeast, from all of the artificial breads and toxic meat and other medication and drugs that you may be on. Your body has to release that. Notice it's so sensitive there because of that. And so that right there tells us that that we shouldn't be taking on all these energy drinks and all this different acid that you can take and pour on a battery to kill off the corrosion and that. So if it's doing that in a battery, I just had to change my battery. The battery went out of my truck. I just had to change it yesterday. And the first thing that came to mind when I saw the corrosion around the battery was the soda pop trick that my dad and my uncle them showed me. Get some of that acid, they'll clean that off of it. But we're putting that inside of us, and then you wonder why come you ate up down there. I'm sorry, y'all. I know that's not a professional term, is it? I have to call it what it is. Ladies, I've been there. That's why I know. It only took me one time to discover that this is where an itch will come from. One time. Was I figured that out? It didn't take no doctor or no gynecologist to tell me. Well, now you know you can't be eating nothing yeasty. Well, you know, yeah. And then even for those you all that are married and in relationships, yep, I'm going there, y'all. Y'all took me there, y'all. I'm going there. Let me know when it's 7 o'clock, y'all. I know I'm almost there. This is going to have to be I know it's going to have to be a part 2. Those of y'all that practice, I'm going to keep in mind children, oral. Whatever that person just ate, and you all know this when it comes down to spices, I notice. Y'all notice that when it comes down to spices. I've been married, so I understand too. Yeah, I notice y'all notice that when it comes down to spices, that you feel steam. Do you ever think that this may be one of the reasons why it was outcasted even within the church? Could it be a link? I'm not saying it for sure. It's just a thought. What you just ate yeasty food and then you put it in your delicate area there by practicing what we say that the bed is undefiled. The bed, not your private area. That's what I have to say to that. She drinks, he drinks, he smoked, nicotine. Now it's time for us to be intimate. It goes right there to your private area. He just had it. We just had a time. He just put the sugar in your private area. Y'all wondering why you got yeast infection? I even had a case where that was a couple. They were a married couple. And my gynecologist shared a case with me just about 5 years ago. She shared a case with me too, where she said we was trying to figure out why did this woman have the yeast infection. She had STDs in the past. She reversed them, but then now she had yeast infection, you all. And she couldn't put her finger on. She said, "I've been eating right. I've been doing clean. It ain't nothing." And so she said, finally, she asked her, and I encountered this too. She said, finally, she said, "Are you married?" And she said, "Yeah." She said, "What about your husband?" She said, "What about my husband?" She said, "I don't mean to get personal, but we're trying to get down to the bottom of why you're constantly having to come in every month with yeast infections. You have cut back eating yeasty food. You cut back on eating artificial, because she also had training in holistic care from out in Kansas City, you all. This is a sister. As she had been practicing for almost, 30, 40 years at this time. So she knew her stuff. And that's why I chose her. She said, I'm in a home, but I need to know, what do your husband do? Is there anything that you could be practicing? Is it anything that he could be doing? And she finally told you, say, yeah, my husband is a baker. He works at Dunkin' Donuts. And I know there have been some reports out there stating that that's not the same yeast. They're a lie. It's sure enough as my mother's not here and mark the date of tomorrow of her anniversary. They lie. It is part of that yeast. Do the testing. You could take your own sample and take it into them. They even see it inside of your urine specimen. You got to ask the question, you all. We work for you all. She said, well, but she said, but he washes his hands before we are intimate. She said, no, but she said, but it's something called yeast can sit in the crevices of the fingernail, you all. That's what you're saying. Yeast can fit inside of, and you won't necessarily see it. But and so when they tested them, what they did was this is how they was able to tell that it was that. He said, she said, just for the next witch call, can you just not practice that? Or when whatever y'all do, because I'm trying to be mindful for where they could be children. Don't do it. And then come back in and let me test you. Keep eating your foods right. Keep eliminating what you just eliminated. And just, if y'all could, because we like to get down to the bottom of this, because you constantly coming in and out of this hospital, and I know that you don't want to have to keep making these many visits. Went back for the testing, you all. She was cleared, no yeast infection, because the yeast that was inside of the fingernails of her husband was not going inside of her. That's how serious that is. Not to mention him constantly consuming a lot of it. And clearly her body was susceptible to that. So it's just many little things that they won't teach us about, you all, because they don't care about us like that. I said it. She cared like that because she was a mother. She had practiced holistic care, and she was one of those sisters that had been a pioneer in the health and wellness business for a long time, and she had been a registered nurse for a long time. And she was disappointed in the Black community, seeing just how many of our women were coming through that had STDs and that had been infected, and it had so many yeast infections. So she was determined to get down to the bottom of it. Okay? So she's retired since then. I'm sorry, y'all. It's right before COVID. I cried like a baby. But I knew what to do. I was like, I ain't gonna find nobody else like her. Yeah, no, I had to get an ugly face. I was like, I ain't gonna find nobody else like her. She tell it like it is. She's the one that also taught me how to identify the little pockets that would the little lumps that could come inside of the breast, ladies, from drinking too much caffeine. I said, nobody never told me nothing about that. I ain't never read that. Where you read that at? Instead of just taking me into let's go get a mammogram, you got a lump. All I had to do, and I had at that time, I had increased to you. You mentioned the artificial dairy. If I was eating extra dairies, and then she went ahead and she told me, she said, tell you what, no, she asked me, what have you been taking in? I know you know better. That's what she said. I was a naturopath at the time. So she said, I know you know better. What you been doing different? I said, yeah, I have been up studying a lot and drinking more coffee. At the time, I was drinking coffee. And I said, yeah, and I was putting milk in it at the time. I was not practicing any type of veganism at the time, or any non animal byproducts at that time, meaning through dairy. And she's like, stop it. She did. She said, stop it. I said, okay. Came back, gone. I stopped it. Gone. So no lump in the breast, you all. No cancer. None whatsoever. It was a false alarm. But how many of you all have been told that? And ladies, this is just tuning in now. You know, y'all at that 49, 50 mark where they're going to be trying to coerce you to go in there and get a mammogram and smash that breast and have you getting inflammation just from the smashing of your breast. That is unnatural. Get a thermogram instead. Thermogram, where they use the heat to see if there's any inflammation within the breast. That's what I recommend. I don't care what doctor and how many PhDs and multiple degrees, more so than a thermometer that they got. That's what my recommendation is. Don't do it, ladies. Don't do it. I don't care how many blind or women in your family that went through it and they say they all right. This is a different time and a different era for us. They are doing more to try and depopulate us, and you are worth more dead than you are alive because of the STEM research that has now come about, you all, where it is legal to take your body parts now. So when you are sick and they can remove a breast that comes with all those tissue ducts and all of those cells and all those stems that they can regrow something with, they love it, especially from a melanated woman, because we have the strongest cells. Still to this day, even with artificial foods, to this day, our cells are still the strongest. You all go ask a few scientists, chemists. I'm gonna have to bring on my brother because he did say he needed a consultation, not scientists for you all. So this is not something that's not my area, but I have those that I know and that I work with that can assure you that that is the case. And they have the tests to prove it. So I recommend all of y'all that have any naturopaths that's locally in your area to where you can get certain tests done. Or if you just have a doctor, always interview your doctor before you give them your insurance card and your money and your copay. Interview them. They work for you, not you for them. You the boss. You the boss, they got to pay the cost one way or the other for any error that they may make while they're examining and while they are experimenting on your body. While they are using you to figure out just how much of their chemicals, they've legalized drugs that your body can take before it collapses. You the boss. Yes. I just was in and out the hospital here at Barnes Jewish the last couple of weeks and saw it. Whatever my clients said they didn't want to do, they couldn't do it. Now I had to talk them out of not getting things taken off because the infection was set in too much before it even got to me. And I had to make a decision to agree with them, but at the same time, them no, it is your choice if you're going to get this amputated. But at this point, the foot and the leg was so corroded, so infected, to where nothing that I even knew of would get rid of that much infection, to the point to where you can't feel anything, the point to where it's open sores and magnets. I have pictures of it, you all, that I choose not to share right now. I'm gonna give them the opportunity to decide if they want. They said yes, but I want to give them a little bit more time for recovery before I would share something like that. Okay. And if they change their mind, I'm okay with that too. So I'm saying that, say you are the boss, even if you decide that you just want to sit there and die. Now we pray and I hope and I pray that that's never the decision, but it's still your choice. And my point is that they can't do no more than what you allow. And I'm saying this to say that even if you all have these different diseases that you all can wind up getting, and it becomes untreated for whatever reason, because you don't feel that you can discipline yourself to eat more to live than just to die, or you feel like you can't afford to get natural herbs and things that help the body heal naturally the way God initially intended for it to heal, then at least get you a person. And yes, I do represent, for the record, I put it out there now, I do represent those who need a medical power of attorney, because I am aware of different drugs that won't kill the body and that will sustain it. If ever you're in a car accident, God forbid, if ever you have cancer, if ever you have whatever that's ailing your body and you feel like you need to go through the hospital, I do help support people with that. And no, I do not charge a lot at that time, because I have to be led by the Spirit with things like that, because I know that's a trying, stressful time. And in most cases, like my last clients, you're losing work if you are in this case, they were men, so they were the providers of their home and their businesses and their families. Okay. And so at that point, if there's not money saved up and you can't have it, you're fighting for your life. But at that point in time, I asked if anyone called me concerning something like that, make sure that you are prepared to take the sound advice, because I don't want to waste your time and I don't want you wasting mine, because I don't have time to waste and I don't own time. I'm just trying to learn how to be on the time of God that he has set before me. And so should you all be. So if you're going to call, then at least be prepared to trust and to do as I suggest that you do, and know that I'm not going to sit there and let anybody take you all out of here and there's any chance of survival, any chance, unless that is what you decide. If you decide that that's something that you get in the place and you don't want it, like that brother had to, where you want to have a limb removed because you realize you don't have enough time, you waited too late, then I will go along with that in order to save the other 80% of the body. That's how technical these things get. And this is the reason why I do these coaching sessions, because my prayer is that it would inspire and encourage you all not to wait to get to that point, because I know they didn't want it to get to that point. But once again, when you attended to everything else, and my God, you all, for those of us who feel like we got to get that money grip, I know that's a big one. I just got out of that situation by the grace of God, that when you hungry for money, and you got this big vision of what all it is God have set for you to do, by all means have it, but don't let it have you. By all means work for it, but don't let it overwork you. Yeah, I said it. I'm guilty, but not for the love of money. It's been to see life preserved. Because I don't see money will come and it will go. It's meant to be used to barter and to exchange. But your life is not meant to be bartered and exchanged. Not until God says so. No, we're not money. Your body is not money, but they sure don't mind making no money off of it. So I say that since your body is in your control for now, and you have legal rights to your own body, that means to make the best decisions or seek consultations. If you know that you have an ailment or a disease that could cause you your life, or that can cause you to lose limbs, then make sure you're the one that profit from your own, or your family, your husband, your wife, your loved one, not someone else, not another stranger that's been educated in how to take your body parts. No. That's not how we're supposed to do that. And I know a lot of us make those decisions because we may feel like we don't know anyone that know and that can stand their ground. When we talk about stand your ground, that can stand their ground on not allowing them to take and use you as a guinea pig. Oh, just take it. And even that is a mentality, because now you're throwing a pity party. You're feeling bad about yourself. You realize I've gotten all this information, knowledge. I should have been able to do it. I don't want to be no bother to nobody. So I'm da. But you got family that still wants you alive. In most cases, you got mission. You got a purpose. So on that note, you all, I'm gonna get y'all. Y'all let me talk over. I know it says so. It says stuff. I don't have my time before me. I sure can't do an hourglass. Let me check y'all. I can't get out here. I'm gonna get y'all. Y'all let me talk like that. I gotta get out here. They gonna get me. I'll be late for class. I love y'all. Remember to call in to 618-388-8100. Y'all note that I am opening up for consultations. Only $25, half off for the remembrance of my mother and father that transitioned in this month, you all, on tomorrow. Remember to keep me and my family prayers. I will do the same. Some good prayers, good, healthy, prosperous prayers for you all as well, too. For anybody that wanted to purchase any products, colon cleanse, the sea moss is still in stock, or moringa for any type of health condition, please call in, let me know as well. And we can have these things set up to send donations. The Cash App information is in there when you check for the YouTube, or either you can via text me with the Cash App, and I can take it then. I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all got me feel like I'm a little commercial. I love you all, and I pray that something I said helped y'all. Thank you all so much for the questions, Brother Brian, Sister Nori. The different ones ask questions. Bring them on, bring them on. And if you need some more mental clarity and need to ask the question again, note that I have patience. It's okay. Ask it if you feel like you need to ask it for others. Do that. Some of us need help. You remember my saying, I need you. From our late Bishop John H. Pettiford, I need you, you need me, we need one another. And then also don't forget for us to, my saying for 2024, remember to be healthy more for 2024. I love you all. You all have a blessed evening on purpose, and be healthy and be well. Until next time, next Monday on Motivational Monday at the same time, around about 5 to 5:15. And I look forward to seeing you all then. Be safe. Know that I love you all. Take care. Bye-bye.